What is going on, guys? I kind of want to get something straight when it comes to the cap space, when it comes to this whole entire offseason, and obviously this free agency that we've had so far, and why people are frustrated, and what's the purpose of all this if we're not trying to upgrade our roster, and what's going on with all of this, okay? People need to realize, we got in the free agency knowing that we had enough for at least one or two mid-tier players. One, Hassan Reddick, that obviously did not come here to get the most money. He came here because he wanted to play for the Eagles. Okay, we have to get that straight and out of our heads because we luckily got Hassan Reddick. Luckily, this wasn't because it was a good deal, but when he was asked at his press conference about, did he take more money elsewhere? I guarantee you 100% that Hassan Reddick took more money somewhere else. Okay, that he would have took more money somewhere else, but he wanted to play for the Eagles, and the Eagles got a really good contract out of this. Okay, the Eagles got really lucky. Okay, this was a guy that was picked before Derek Barnett in the 2017 NFL Draft. Okay, our Super Bowl year. All right, and now he has an opportunity to play here for the next 3 seasons, and I couldn't be any happier about it. Howie Roseman, has he been aggressive? Sure. Going after Marcus Williams and not exceeding that number and, getting close to that number that Marcus Williams wanted, but, Baltimore won the bid at the end of the day. So when people say that Howie hasn't been aggressive, he has. He actually put down a bid for Christian Kirk, but obviously that contract way overpaid him. The guy's not even a 1,000-yard receiver. They paid him a lot of money to Jacksonville with Doug Peterson. Okay. We had a Calvin Ridley trade almost done. Okay, we had it pretty much done. The rumor was that Calvin Ridley was going to be traded for a 3rd-round pick, and that was a steal trade. I think that was a total steal if it held up. But, the Falcons pretty much talked to the Eagles and said, we're not doing the trade. They didn't tell the Eagles why until the Eagles found out later why they didn't say anything. They didn't want anything going out to the public yet between Calvin Ridley and the gambling and what's going on, which he got suspended for a whole year. And the Falcons could have screwed the Eagles over in that trade. But out of respect for them, I definitely appreciate it because otherwise, he would have been here and he would have not played the whole year if that's the case. He's going to appeal it, but we'll see how that goes. When it comes down to free agency as of right now, okay, Fletcher Cox ended up getting cut. We ended up moving some money around. We had to redo his whole deal. He was against the cap $18 million, which the Eagles actually got out of paying that. Ended up paying him $14-15 million, fully guaranteed for the year, and now he is back for a 1-year deal, which he will become a free agent after 2022, which pretty much means the end of Fletcher Cox in Philadelphia. The second tenured Eagle besides of Brandon Graham that's been here for a long time, okay? That deal, we only freed up $2.1 million, okay? That's it. And we took the $40 million in dead cap and, lowered it to 12, which I thought was a really good move in Howie Roseman. When it comes to trades, when it comes to moving money around and how to, fix contracts, Howie Roseman can do it. For the people saying, we freed up Darius Slay, Big Play Slay's contract, okay? We gave him more guaranteed money. We freed up almost $12 million, about 11.9. Okay, and people thought we had all this cap space. Okay, we didn't have that much cap space going into free agency. We had enough to sign 2 mid-tier contracts, which at this point I think they're in the market for something. Okay, and they're waiting for the third. They're waiting for the third, level of free agency right now. The third wave, I should say, which is mostly guys that could produce in a good system that aren't going to be that expensive, that really haven't been picked in free agency too early. So Howie Roseman is waiting to get bids on those guys, and whoever they are, I don't know, because I think Howie Roseman wants to trade more than sign free agents. He's passed up on every single receiver so far in free agency. When it comes to Allen Robinson, DJ Chark went to, obviously, the Lions for a 1-year, $10 million deal. How he didn't acquire him, I have no idea. We were instant in Juju Smith-Schuster last year and this offseason before free agency. Now, all of a sudden, a report came out that the Eagles are not interested in Juju Smith-Schuster. Okay, Allen Robinson went to the Rams, $30 million guaranteed. Weren't going to compete against that. Valdez-Scantling from Green Bay, that's pretty much up in the air right now still, but he might sign back to Green Bay because after all, Devontae Adams is gone, so they need a number 1 receiver. I'm not saying Valdez is number 1, but they need somebody that knows the system and obviously played for the Green Bay Packers for a while. But now the Eagles have about $23 to $24 million in cap space with that Slay restructure. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, people need to wake up and open their eyes. okay? And everybody's impatient, but we have just enough to sign our draft picks. You need about like $10.5 million to sign draft picks, undrafted free agents. So really at the end of the day, you have maybe 12 to 14 million to play with, which really isn't a lot of money at the end of the day, but they could sign some, like I said, third wave of free agency, get some productive, role players, guys that could work well, that really aren't a huge focus on a team, but could really put in the work and produce. You guys have to remember, back in 2021, we locked up a bunch of players. Those contracts are going to count for 2022 when we locked up Avonte Maddox, Jordan Mailata, Josh Sweat, Dallas Goedert. We gave guys new contracts. We extended a few guys. We didn't expect, for a couple of them, I didn't expect Avonte Maddox. I definitely didn't expect Jordan Mailata. But Dallas Goedert, we were kind of figuring out he was going to get re-signed because of the, Zach Ertz was traded to Arizona, and there was no way that Dallas Goedert was going to become a free agent. Okay, so you locked up all those players. Then people were telling me, oh, well, that was last year. It was last year, but it didn't count for last year. Those locked up contracts that we extended all those players are going to count for this year. So Howie Roseman was aggressive. He locked up players last year. And, it doesn't seem like people are interested to see that he's being aggressive because, signing our own players doesn't count. But, guys, we would have a lot more cap space if we didn't re-sign Jordan Mailata, Avonte Maddox, Dallas Goedert. Yeah, sure. But if we had all that cap space, we'd have way too many holes. Okay, way too many holes. And you have to lock up players for your future in this new Nick Sirianni era. As the new head coach, going to his second year now. That's what people have to understand. Those locked up contracts, those extensions we gave all those players are going to count for 2022. Now, I understand if there's people that just don't understand the cap. And look, I'm learning things every single year when it comes to contracts and stuff like that because I'm not fully there yet. And I'm not always right about everything. But I know that those contracts definitely. And look, I'm frustrated too. If it was up to me, I'd trade for any player I wanted. But as of right now, the Eagles are being very cautious in what they're doing. And I think they've been aggressive, but they're not being stupid at the same time. You know what I mean? Like all these teams are paying all these guys and have all this. Look at the Colts. They had $70 million in cap space. They really haven't made too many moves. They haven't made that many moves. You know what I mean? So, but when you draft well, you don't have to spend that much cap. You can actually maintain your cap space. Just because you have cap space doesn't mean you have to spend all of it either. Okay, but when you draft well, since the Super Bowl, besides last year's draft in 2021, the drafts haven't been great. Okay, and the Eagles have to get their eye on the ball with these draft picks. The more hits you get in the draft and you produce those players to be great players for a long time, the more cap you're going to have at the end of the day. Okay, it makes it very easy for Howie Roseman. Okay, so the Eagles are in a bind right now. Not really a bind. I think financially they're pretty good right now when it comes to their cap. They're not being stupid with their cap. Yeah, they have about $14 million to spend, like I said before, because you need $10.5 million just to sign. If you had an extra $24 million on top of the $10 million, then great. Then you could spend, you could sign a good mid-tier to top marquee name. But at this point, Howie Roseman is going to. At this point, he's going to trade. I think trading is like his strong suit. And I don't know if he's going after every free agent or whatever free agents that are available because, honestly, he's passed up on safeties. I mean, besides Marcus Williams, he's passed up on pretty much every receiver besides Valdez-Scantling. He's passed up on every receiver. Every receiver. Didn't even try to acquire anybody, nothing. Hassan Reddick was the best pass rusher in free agency, and the Eagles got him to be a hybrid linebacker / edge rusher at the end of the day, which now with Javon Hargrave as a free agent after this year and Fletcher Cox, both your starting defensive tackles, become free agents after 2022, which is going to change up a lot for this draft, which I could see the Eagles actually going after receiver in the first round and going after defensive tackle because they already have Devontae Wyatt and they already got now Jordan Davis heading to Philadelphia on a pre-draft visit because I know that the Eagles are hungry for these guys. Okay, I said if the Eagles do not get a receiver in free agency, and they have talked about the two things this offseason the Eagles have talked about. Priority was getting to the quarterback, which is your pass rush. Number two, they talked about, these wide receivers, that they want to add another weapon for Jalen Hurts. And I believe they're going to do that. They've promised on an edge rusher. We got one in Hassan Reddick, but it's not going to be enough. Hassan Reddick is not enough for this defense. You signed Anthony Harris back, which I really wasn't a big fan of, but I guess you got to bring somebody back at this point, which I thought McLeod was coming back instead. And then, you didn't really add anybody to linebacker. You let Alex Singleton walk, so now you don't even have a backup. Jannard Avery, I don't think, is here anymore either. So linebacker's a huge hole. You don't really have that thumper. You haven't drafted a linebacker in the first round in 40 years. You could add more defensive tackles. You could add more defensive ends. I think they have to add another defensive end. I think they have to add a defensive tackle in the first round. You got to find your future piece. Javon Hargrave is probably going to re-sign with the Eagles, probably an extension this year, or they'll work on something on the last or at the end of the year, or maybe this offseason. I have no idea. If they think Milton Williams is ready to take the starting job from Javon Hargrave while drafting a Devontae Wyatt or a Jordan Davis, I guess they'll give it a shot. But Eagles fans need to be patient, because people read a headline and think the Eagles have all this cap. We don't have that much cap. We don't, because you have to sign your draft picks, and you have to do all this important stuff. So I just want to get on here and just talk about that quick, because some people just don't understand. I have to learn about this every year, because I'm not good with numbers and cap, and I have to go on a website to just check on what the cap and how much players are against the cap every single year. And, if you restructure them, what do you get pre-June, post-June, whatever. It's a lot to learn, but the Eagles really don't have much money to spend right now. That's why if Howie Roseman wants to be aggressive, he's got 3 first-round picks and a second-rounder to do whatever he wants with. I'm not saying that he has to trade one of them back, but most likely with the quarterback situation, which I won't get into, because we all know that situation. Okay, you have that option to trade back if you really need to acquire more picks in 2023. Or Howie Roseman is going to try to trade for our marquee name. And I think the Eagles have one more move up their sleeve, not like a mid-tier move. I think they have one more breakout move that they can actually make if that's what they want to do. If they stay put, if this strictly this freed up cap space from Slay is, mostly for this draft and being able to pay your draft picks, this is probably what it's for. You know what I mean? But for trading, depending if he'll trade for a player that's on the last year of his contract, a marquee name, somebody that's on the dirt cheap, but you'll give up a good pick for, is going to probably pay off in the long run, because more moves are going to be made next year. This team is going to get younger by the year, a lot more veterans, that Super Bowl roster is disappearing by the year. So a lot of decisions to be made, but I just want to make it clear and just make you guys understand what this whole offseason felt like free agency-wise so far, and we're already a week into it. So I'm going to see what happens the next, week. I think within another week there should be something happening. I don't know what the Eagles are going to do. It's Honey Badger. There's, Bobby Wagner still out there. I don't know what they're doing. Okay, I obviously, I told you about all positions on defense. Offensively, do I think they go after a receiver? They passed on every single receiver. So it's an eye-opener to see, maybe what are they going to do in the draft. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to kind of vent about that real quick and just talk about it. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I'll get back to you guys as soon as I possibly can. If you guys haven't, subscribed to the channel, much love to everybody that has subscribed. It's been watching the streams, been supporting, the whole time, and just the whole off season is probably one of the most important, but obviously one of the most exciting off seasons because we are either going to be very excited or terrified at the same time. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up, fellas? Peace out, guys. Peace.